Today I had the bright idea of deciding that I wanted to show you guys my updated vintage collection. A few months ago, or maybe last year now, I did show you my mini 1940s collection, but since then my vintage has just grew and grew and grew. Obviously you can tell probably by the title of the channel that majority of these things are going to be 1940s bits and pieces, but I do have other stuff pretty much ranging from, I'd say, the 40s to maybe, oh no, actually I think the earliest piece I have is the 30s. So from the 30s to probably the 90s, which is crazy to think that the 90s is now classed as vintage, I know, but starting off strong, I wanted to show you my mid-century handbags. I've got a black one, a brown one, and then the navy blue one. The black one actually came with a matching purse inside, which is so cute. And this one is this is an exclusive Waldy bag made in England. And when I was doing research into these said that they were quite popular with like Queen Elizabeth and the royal family. I think this one said it was dated mid-century, so it was around between the 40s to the 60s that this was put into action. Then the brown one I actually only picked up literally last week. This says handmade, made in England inside. Doesn't actually have any label to tell us what brand it is, but the vendor that I bought it off did say it was mid-century as well. And of course, every time I say mid-century, I am referring to between the 40s and the 60s. And my navy one is by 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐿 London, and also again, made in England. All of them as well, when it comes to vintage handbags, which I absolutely adore, always come with mirrors. I just think is quite nice. I mean, if you don't have a compact, thankfully I already do, but if you don't, then you get a little mirror inside too. And the occasional purse, as we've seen. I bought this brooch the other day at a 1940s event, and I could only guess the vintage. All I have to go on sometimes is the fact that vintage vendors are selling them, so that's how you know they're vintage. Apart from that, there's not often always a date, which is kind of the same with this bracelet. I got this from the antique shop, so obviously it must be antique because they've taken it to sell it, but I couldn't tell you when from. To me, it could honestly date anywhere between the 20s to the 90s, who knows. I have an awful lot of coins. I mean an awful lot of coins. My friend Millie actually gave me them. She'd moved into a house with her boyfriend, and the house used to belong to her boyfriend's great auntie, and she had loads and loads of bits and bobs from the past. So Millie decided to give me this bag of coins. There's plenty in here. They all date between, I think the earliest is the 1890s and the latest I think is the 70s, the early 70s maybe. So just a few of them here to look at. So you've got a halfpenny. That's a halfpenny, which is from 1957. Got a 1 penny from 1948, another 1 penny from 1936, 1 penny from 1947, halfpenny again from 1959, a 1 penny from 1939. Then I've got a threepenny bit, which is from 1943. I've actually got 2 threepenny bits from 1943. My other one is around here somewhere. Oh, I'm mistaken actually. I've got 1 threepenny from 1943 and 1 threepenny from 1942. I have a football sheet from the 11th of November 1944, wartime edition. So this was Remembrance Day in 1944, and it is for a match between Port Vale and Aston Villa, which is funny because my mum supports Port Vale because she is from Stoke, and my dad, being from the local area, supports Aston Villa. I, however, am not really interested in football, just in the history. Now, I don't read sheet music, but I do have a fair bit of it. I threw a kiss in the ocean. Oh, I just dropped one. These are all 40s pieces. Apple Blossom Time, a classic by the Andrews Sisters. Good luck until we meet again. So sweet. And then 20 tiny fingers to play to your children. I have 6 news review magazines. These were a British magazine that was first made in 1936 and then in 1950 merged with Illustrated magazine, which is another British magazine company, which I have. So these 6 news reviews I have. This one is the 10th of October 1940, 25th of April 1940, the 16th of May 1940, the 23rd of May 1940, 17th of October 1940 and the 26th of September 1940. Then I have 2 illustrated magazines. This first one is from the 23rd of January 1943 and then the other one is from the 27th of November 1943. I also have 2 massive Life magazines. Life magazines are so heavy and big compared to the English magazines of the time. So this one is the 7th of June 1943 and then this one is the 7th of August 1944. I also have a working Bush DAC 90 radio which were produced between 1946 and 1950. And of course my lovely Tiffany lamp. This honestly could age anywhere between probably I would say, just by the type of light bulb fixture that it has inside, I'd probably say it's more modern, ranging between probably from the 70s to the modern day. I have a National dried milk tin. So this is what the rationed dried milk would have been given out in during the war and, well, even after the war, post-war too, because we were rationing until 1954. So my grandparents would have been weaned on this as children. Crazy. I have these 2 lovely Le Cordon Bleu gelatin moulds which need to be hung on the kitchen walls once we've painted. These are both from 1986, it says on the inside of the moulds. This basalt ceramic came from my friend Millie's house, like the coins did as well, and it is from the 60s. It's from Price Kensington, made in England. I have this 2-piece skirt set, and this is from Norman Martin. I believe this may be from the 60s. I'm not 100% sure though. I did buy it from a vintage vendor at the 1940s event at the Black Country Museum. For everything I tried to search for this just wouldn't come up when I was looking online. These stamps are all Australian stamps from 1942. This is a print picture of Don Blandin that was signed, but this has been photocopied, I think, or it's from a magazine. I'm not sure, I just got the cutout, but it's a 1941 picture. I also have this lovely green 1960s Renser London skirt suit set. I absolutely love this. I can't wait to wear this in the winter. These 2 are pieces of Wedgwood, and I would probably put these between the 70s to the 90s. I bought this musical figurine the other day, and she was from a vintage vendor at the Chasewater 1940s event, but I couldn't tell you when from, and the vendor didn't know either. This little lady here is an Elaine Royal Dalton figure, and she's from 1979. And this is a Coalport Literary Heroines mold doll. What a mouthful. And she's from 1998. And this poster here is actually a cutout from a magazine. I just bought it as the cutout. I didn't have the whole magazine. And it's a 1947 Chrysler advert, and on the back of it is a 1947 calendar. And this little picture was from the antique shop as well, so I can't 100% date her, but we know she's vintage. And these 2 houses on either side are also vintage, but again, couldn't tell you when from. Now we have all of the pictures on these walls these are all either antiques or from the charity shop, mainly from the antique shops. These all date, again, could literally date anywhere between even like the 30s to probably the 90s. All of these are, you can see my ring light in the background, but that is a reproduction picture. The frame is antique, but the picture itself is a print of the 1913 painting called The End of Dinner. This is a painting, and this is a painting, and obviously this one over here is a painting too. So these are all original pieces. This is a 1988 vinyl of the New Kids on the Block Hanging Tough album. This lady here is a Uniart Taiwan ceramic figurine, and she was most likely produced between the 70s and the 90s. This teapot I actually am not sure about because I got it from a charity shop and it doesn't have any markings underneath, so it could be modern and it could be vintage, we're not 100% sure. And the same with this as well. This little corner cupboard does not have anything under it but the price that I bought it for. And this is from my childhood, so that is not, well, probably is kind of technically vintage now. 2003, so gosh, that'll be 23 years old already nearly. I know this Royal Dalton figure looks vintage, but she's not. I've actually only had it for the past 10 years. And then this cross is vintage. My dad gifted it to my granddad in the 80s, I believe, and then my granddad gifted it to me. I bought these two lovely matching ladies from the charity shop, and they're most likely between 70s and 90s as well. And then this vase is vintage that Calvin got me, but he's not sure of the date. This is a Kodak Folding Brownie 620 camera, and that dates between 1937 and 1940. And this is an Ilford Envoy camera, and that dates between 1953 and 1960. Now these two are some of my pride and joys. So this is a British GPO telephone from the 1960s, local as you can see. And then this one is a Ericsson LM telephone, which was a Swedish type of telephone, and they began being produced in 1947, this particular type. And this vase is from Calvin. It's a crystal vase. It could honestly be from anywhere between probably maybe from the 20s all the way up to the modern day, because crystal always just looks like crystal. This clock is another one from, you guessed it, Millie. This I would probably put either between the 60s to the 80s. This clock dates from between the 60s to the 80s, and it was in the house that Millie got, and one of the many other things that Millie gave me from the house that she didn't want. So I have this from a charity shop, which is probably between 60s to the 90s. Then this as well, I couldn't tell you, but I know it looks very old. And this picture as well. This picture is actually a Victorian picture that's been coloured locally. This is a Fraciolis 24k gold painted ceramic pouring jug, I guess you could call it. Obviously it's too tiny to actually use as a pouring jug, but my sister bought this for me from a charity shop, and it dates between the 60s and the 80s, and it was made in Greece. Last but not least, I have this lovely 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐒 two-piece top and skirt. 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐒 first became a brand in 1951, and then they were absorbed into another brand in 1988. So this could honestly date anywhere between the early 50s to the late 80s. I'm not quite sure. Personally, I think it looks a bit 60s. Obviously, I style it as 40s, but who knows? I hope you all found that rather interesting. I hope you've enjoyed having a nosy at all of my vintage bits and bobs. I know for a fact that the collection is just going to keep growing and growing and growing, because that's just me. I'm gonna have to get a bigger home because this stuff is not fitting in at the moment at all. However, I'd love to, one day if I could put these all on display in a museum or whatever else, that if I ever die, please let these go to a museum. I don't want them being wasted and sold off and all of that kind of stuff. These things have such a special place in my heart. I will see you guys next Wednesday.